about the reported speech in which the tenses do not change when you convert a speech in direct form to a speech in indirect form or vice versa. Now, this condition happens when we state some fact which is unchanged, right? So, tenses do not change in reported speech when we are stating something which is an unchanged fact. So, a fact which is unchanged, and when we are stating that fact in any kind of speech, either direct or indirect, then while conversion to another, the tense will remain the same. For example, he explained the sun sets in the west. Now the sun sets in the west, it is an unchanged fact. This fact we all know, and it can never happen when the sun will set in the north, south or east. No, the sun will always set in the west, and this is a proved fact which cannot be changed by any scientist, any person. So, this is a direct speech. Now, I want to convert my direct speech into indirect form, but when a fact cannot be changed, the tense will not change. So, I will say, he explained that the sun sets in the west. And this is my indirect speech. So he explained the sun sets in the west, my direct speech. He explained that the sun sets in the west is my indirect speech, but this is also my present tense and this is also my present tense. My tense will not change. Another example can be, she said, the penguins cannot fly. Now, if this is a fact that a penguin cannot fly, there cannot be any penguin created who can fly. All the penguins cannot fly. This is a fact. So when we state a fact, that fact will remain in the same tense while converting to any form of speech. So I will say, she said that the penguins cannot fly. Just the difference is that I have to remove these inverted commas, I have to remove this comma, and instead of this comma, I will be writing that. She said that the penguins cannot fly. Rest, my sentence will remain the same, the fact will remain the same, there will be no change in the tense of the fact. Now, when a reported speech contains a universal truth, which is a fact or a historical fact or some fact which is a mathematical fact, we can say, or it can be any action of morality or an unchanged fact. So when a statement contains all of these, then we do not change the tense of the sentence while converting it into some other speech, right? It can be either from indirect to direct or from direct to indirect. When there is some universal truth, or it can be a mathematical fact, or it can be a historical fact, or it can be a proverb, or it can be the action of morality, or the unchanged fact that we've already discussed. So it can also be an unchanged fact. So whenever a statement contains any of these, then the speech, the tense of the sentence does not change, it will remain the same. Let us understand through some examples. So, example of first, let us consider the universal fact. The universal fact can be: the teacher explains the earth revolves around the sun. The teacher explained the earth revolves around the sun. This is a universal fact. It is not just known in India, it is not just known in Canada, in Australia, or in any part of the world, but it is known around the world, and the fact in the entire world remains the same. The fact is not different in any other country. The fact is the same. All scientists approve to the fact. So this is a universal fact. The universal fact is indirect speech. Why? Because we have commas and inverted commas with it. So now I want to convert it into my indirect speech. But when there is a universal fact, then no change in tenses, right? So no change will be there in tenses. I will say the teacher explained that the earth revolves around the sun. Now this example was of universal truth. Let us take the example of mathematical fact. A mathematical fact can be like: my sister told to me the value of pi is 3.14. Now this is a mathematical fact that the value of pi is 3.14. According to me, according to you, and according to everyone, this is a fact which is proved. No one can contradict to the fact that I disagree, the value of pi is 7.81. No, everyone agrees because this is a fact. Now this fact is a mathematical fact, and my mathematical fact is in direct speech. I want to convert this into indirect form, so I will say my sister told me that the value of pi is 3.14. So my sister told me, this is the direct speech. My sister told me, remove this, remove the inverted commas, add that to the replacement, and we will say the value of pi is 2.14. So this is also my present tense and this is also my present tense. The tense has not changed. Then let us talk about the act of morality. Act of morality example can be, my mother said honesty is the best policy. Now, my mother said honesty is the best policy. It is the expression of morality. So, this is an expression of morality. So, for expression of morality, again my tense will not change. No change in tenses for the following reasons or for the following terms. Now, my term is expression of morality. So, I will say, my mother said that honesty is the best policy. So again, my tense has not changed. Now with this, with the unchanged fact, we also include habitual act. Habitual act means that when you are in a habit of doing something, when you tell about that habit, even then your tense will not change while converting into different speeches, right? So, for example of habitual act, we can say Ragini told me I go to work in the park daily. Now Ragini told me I go to work in the park daily. Now here there will be a little change, not in the tense but in the sentence. Why? Because I gets changed to she, and for the second person go changes to goes. So Ragini told me that, now Ragini we know is a girl or is a woman. Now for girl or a woman, or we can say in general for females, we use the pronoun as she, and with she we have for present tense the verb plus s. So whenever we know for o it changes to es. So she goes to work in the park daily. Now go and goes, both are my present tense. Therefore, the tense has not changed, only the sentence, the formation of the sentence has also not changed, just as that indirect we use the first form, right? But in indirect we change the form. Now, universal truth is done, mathematical fact is done, explanation of historical fact can be like, the principle said India became independent on 15th August 1947. Right? The principal said India became independent on 15th August 1947. Now this is again a historical fact, right? No one can contradict that, oh, I'm against you, you are wrong, according to me it was 15th October. No, that cannot happen. We got independence on 15th August 1947. This is a fact and no one can change the fact. Therefore, the tense will not change. I will say the principal said that India became independent on 15th August 1947. I have removed the inverted commas, I have removed my comma, and instead I have added that to make an indirect speech or a sentence in indirect form. Now, historical fact is done, unchanged fact we've already discussed. Left is proverb. Now, for a proverb, we can say, her father said, the tree is known by its fruit. Now again, the tree is known by its fruit. This is a proverb. And while converting it into indirect speech, I will say, her father said that the tree is known by its fruit. Just I have removed the inverted commas, I have removed the commas, and I get my indirect speech. So, in this video, we have discussed about the indirect speech in which the tenses do not change while converting the speech from direct to indirect or from indirect to direct. Now, from indirect to direct also, I can say, if the statement is Ragini told me that she goes to work in the park daily, my direct form will be Ragini told me, comma, inverted commas begin, I go to work in the park daily. So, if we know that how to change it from direct to indirect, conversion from indirect to direct is also as easy as that. Then, we also understood that whenever a sentence states some universal truth or a mathematical fact, some historical fact, a proverb, an expression or act of morality, some unchanged fact or an habitual act, then the tense will not change. My tense in the sentence will remain the same. Only the thing is that I will convert my direct speech into indirect by removing the inverted commas, by removing the commas and adding that to my sentence.